President Trump sitting down yesterday with the nation's newly elected governors, praising them for their hard-fought victories.
We have invited the nations, our great nation's newly elected governors, and some really terrific people. They're going to do a wonderful job. We have some real stars in the room, and they became stars because of the way they handled themselves.
There were 12 governors-elect from both parties there. One of the new governors is Ron DeSantis, who overcame a heated race and an almost 2-week-long recount in Florida. He joins us right now, live from Tallahassee. Governor-elect, good morning to you.
Good morning, Steve.
It's good to have you on the program. So what were your concerns for the president?
Well, one, he's been great with Panhandle reconstruction. We want to keep that on the front burner, and he pledges support for that, including Tyndall Air Force Base, which is an important military post for us. But then also, and you know this, Steve, for spending time in Florida, you know, we've had problems with some of these toxic algae blooms and feeding into things like red tide, and there's federal projects involving the Army Corps that are involved in that, and he pledges support to help it. He wants to get that going. So that was music to my ears. And, you know, the thing is the president was interested in helping all these states, regardless of whether the governors were Republican or Democrat. Things like infrastructure, things like fighting fentanyl, all these things that are very important. And so I think it was a very productive meeting.
So it was bipartisan in the fact that he had Republicans and Democrats, governors-elect, in attendance. As an outgoing member of Congress yourself, what do you make of the standoff right now? The president has made it very clear. It's on me. If the government shuts down, it's worth it because I need money to build border security at our southern border.
I encouraged him to take a stand on that. I think he's right on the policy. We're going to do things in Florida to continue to fight opioid abuse, but if the fentanyl keeps coming into our country, it's very difficult. And I think the president understands that, and I think Chuck Schumer and Nancy Pelosi, they're just on the wrong side of this. I mean, the fact of the matter is the amount of money he's asking for in terms of Washington is basically budget dust. I mean, these guys waste way more money than that every single year. And so I think the American people will be behind the president. And, you know, I encourage him to stand strong.
So you think Congress is going to cave? The Democrats are going to cave in Congress?
I do. What happens, Steve, is when you get close to the holidays, the members of Congress want to get out of Dodge. And I don't think a lot of them are going to want to sit there through Christmas just to haggle over a couple $2 billion, which, you know, should be a lot. And for me and you, it's probably a lot. But the way Congress thinks, that's budget dust to them. And I think the president would end up coming out ahead. I do.
All right. Ron DeSantis, the new governor of the great state of Florida. Sir, thank you very much. Have a Merry Christmas.
Thanks.